Hey everybody, thanks for coming back to my page. Tonight is going to be a story time moment. I really enjoyed my last one, it was very cathartic, so I felt like doing it again. And tonight is going to be my coming out story. Um, I won't say that mine was unique, but it was a little different than a lot of the stories I've heard and seen on YouTube. So it kind of started with a crazy. Well, let me give you some backstory. Um, Junior high, high school, I always had a girlfriend. I took a girl to prom. I took the girl I loved to prom. Um, always kind of had the best looking girl in school. I had a great personality, and I was a big guy. I've lost a lot of weight since high school. I was a really big dude, but I was very popular, and I don't know. I just had a way about me, and I was able to, you know, get these girls. Although in hindsight, I wasn't having sex with them. I was a very late bloomer, but I enjoyed their company at all times. And I won't say that I never noticed guys, but it was not a driving force in my day to day moving through life. It wasn't like, oh, look at him. It was just like, oh, I noticed this person. Oh, a year later, I noticed this guy. It wasn't like all the time, guy. So it was a little different for me. So my brother was graduating from high school. I'm a year older. My brother was graduating from high school, and he was having an open house, a graduation celebration. We say open house in Michigan, and it was going to be like a sleepover event. We're going to party, enjoy the friends and family, the food and dinner and everything. And then that night, myself, him, and his two best friends are going to have a sleepover, and we're going to get up the next morning and go out for breakfast and just enjoy. And his open house was beautiful. Tons of friends and family came out, but there's one friend who he spoke about all the time who went to a different school, who lived in a different district from us. That I always heard this guy's name, but I had never met him before. But it seems like my brother would talk about him a lot. Oh, let's call him James. Oh, James did this, and oh, it was so funny. We went to the movies, and James was cracking me up. And James. But I never met James, just always heard of James. So at the party where everyone's at, we had like a cookout, and we probably had about 60 people, family and friends there. It was really nice. Sun goes down, and my brother says, "Oh, be on the lookout. James is looking for the house. I guess he had never been to our house before." So it's like, and I didn't know because I worked two jobs and was in college, and I was busy, so I wasn't around a lot during their friendship. He's like, "Hey, James is looking for the house. I'm handling our guests. Can you please, when he pulls up, he's driving blah blah, wave him down so he'll know which door to come through and everything." I was like, cool. So I did what my brother asked. I went out front, stood on the sidewalk waiting for this car, and sure enough, within a minute or so, he pulled up, and I was like, oh. I'm thinking about it right now, and it's funny to me because James was definitely not like my brother and the rest of his friends. Stylish, but I knew right off the bat that something was different about James that my brother either didn't know or didn't notice or just never mentioned to me. But either way, I was like, oh, this is interesting. Like, Hmm. So, long story short, we all having us a good time. The party wraps up, say about 10 o'clock. All of our guests leave, and then my brother and his friend, who was there with him? Who was the other guy? It's been so long ago I can't remember. But James, my brother, and his actual best friend, and myself are ready to go celebrate. So we take our cars. Our high school is like just around the corner from where we grew up. So we're like, let's go to the back of the school and smoke, because I was new to that too. I was late on everything. I was a nerd in school. So he's like, let's go back here. I got some beers and we can just go back here and BS and everything. I was like, cool, that's fine with me. Let's go. So I had a nine I graduated in 96. So this is 95. So I had a 95 uh, Mustang drop top during this time. And so I dropped the top, and I'm thinking my brother's going to ride with me, and then his other two friends are going to ride together. But James says, well, I'm going to ride with Scott. And I'm like, well, all right, stranger, I don't know you, but okay, let's see where this goes. Because I'm curious now, like, why I'm curious about James, but I'm also curious about why my brother has never mentioned that James is different. So we go to the back of the high school and we're having us a grand time, just back there getting high, drinking beers, just yelling, and my brother's climbing on top of his car and just, he's just excited because, truth be told, he was two shakes from not graduating, but he made it through by the skin of his teeth. And so we were just having a really good time, and we really got messed up. Like, I was floating. So I'm sitting in my car. James is sitting in my car, and we're just sitting looking up at the stars, just laughing at my brother, watching him be silly and be happy. And James starts cutting into me with the questions. And I'm guessing he also wants to know who I am because my brother talks about me all the time. But I later come to realize that he was like digging into me, like trying to find out what makes me tick. What do I like? What don't I like? Who do I like? What do I do? All this kind of stuff. And for me, it was the first time that a guy had ever shown so much interest in me. Now, I've definitely had flirtations with guys during this time because now I'm out of high school and I'm out in, college and stuff, but never to this level. And so I had a wall surrounding me and was trying to basically throw off as many of these answers as I could to not give him too much insight into who I am because I'm a super private person. This is my first time meeting you, and he was asking some pretty personal things. And I was just like, man, this is so bizarre. So my brother is like, hey, I I'm gonna go get some more beer because again, this is Michigan. We can do stuff like that at 17, 18. Do y'all want to go? Do you want anything? I was like, hey, bring me back XYZ. I think I wanted a Ohana lemonade and some. This is when Nestle Flips, the pretzels covered in chocolate, they had just came out. I was like, bring me some of those and a lemonade. And James was like, I'll stay here with your brother and bring me blah. So when they leave, we stay there talking. It probably took them 10 minutes because the corner store wasn't far. But we stayed there talking, and because no one was around, the questions got even more personal. And I mean, he wasn't just asking questions, he was also telling me a little bit about himself and his situation and how he gets down and stuff. And I was just like, wow, this is a lot for a first meeting. Like, you are really giving me the business and really up in mine. I didn't know how to take that. So my brother comes back and he looking at me. He's like, "You all right?" And I guess he could probably tell I was a little uncomfortable or just maybe felt a little odd. And I was saying, "No, I'm okay. I'm just high." I just blamed it on being high. So he's like, "Okay, well, let's get ready to go home. Um, we'll finish cleaning up in the morning from the party, and let's just go crash so we can get up early tomorrow. We got a lot of stuff to do." I'm like, "Fine." So I go home. I'm literally like boom, boom, boom. We there. We live right around the corner from the school. Put the top up. James gets out, goes in the house. And I sit in the car for a minute. My brother, his other friend goes in the house. And so all three of them are in the house, and I stay inside my car trying to gather myself, just trying to figure out, like, what is happening, what's going on, and why do I feel so intrigued and embarrassed at the same time by what just happened in the back of this high school. And I'm noticing, like, some of that defense wall that I have built up is crumbling away, and I don't know if it's because I wanted to or because of his insistence. But at that time, I was just really feeling kind of conflicted. I was not seeing anybody at this time. I was a single person, but I was just feeling like, you get those like nervous feelings when you're about to do something, or you feel you're on the verge of doing something you've never done before. I felt that. It was very, you know, exciting and also scary. Yeah, so I'll be honest and say it was scary to me. So when we get in the house, we all chilling, watching TV. We're still partying, and I'm enjoying my little flips and stuff, because when they first came out, they were the bomb. I wouldn't eat any now, but when they first came out, those Nestle flips were really good. And I think we were playing some video games and just chilling, just hanging out in the living room. And before long, it was late. I think it was like 2 or 3 in the morning, and my brother's like, "Well, I'm gonna crash." Damn it! Why can't I think of his friend's name right now? He's like, "Well, hey, he's gonna sleep with me. James can sleep out here on the couch if he wants, or you got a big bed in your room if you want. He can sleep in there with you." And I'm like, "Oh, hold up." He's gonna sleep where? Why are y'all doing this? Why? And so it's three people like, "Oh yeah, just go. Scotty, he got the king size water bed. He got more than enough space." I'm like, okay, sure. So we now that I'm playing it back in my mind, I knew what was up when the door closed because I was already laying down. James was in there with my brother and the other guy, and then he came into my room and closed the door. And I was like, "Oh, okay. Can you leave it cracked? Can you crack the door a little bit?" He was like, "Well, you know, your stepdad's smoking cigarettes, and I don't want to inhale the cigarette smoke because blah blah blah." And he's like, "I'd rather have the door closed." I'm like, "Oh, okay, all right. So we'll close the door then." So I'm already in like some shorts and a t-shirt. He climbs on into the bed, and I'm on like way on the other side of the bed, like up against the you know how water beds were back then. They had that big barrier, the big edging I'm already leaning up against that, like as far away as I can. So far, that the waterbed has made this huge bubble between us because he's on the other side and I'm, we're just in our respective spaces.